Hi, welcome back. Monday morning, so happy Monday to everyone. We have a few things to do to finish off this amazing animals website. We got in these little rollover effects last week, which is great. We need to go and add some more of these next to the actual tiger. We need to go and make those little images as well. And we need to figure out how to position that over on the right hand side because we originally agreed that this is how it would look, like we'd have some stuff over there. And that's kind of where we want to head to and make sure that we're kind of building it towards. So to move something like that over to the right hand side is, well, there's a couple of ways to do it, but the one way I want to do is in line with what we did with this box, which is basically turn it into an absolutely positioned one and then we can put it somewhere. In this case, what we did for the particular one here, I think it was in here, maybe it wasn't. My thoughts were that we did, wherever it is, position, and we actually positioned it somewhere. But for whatever reason, I'm on the wrong thing. I need to go here, current, there we go. So what we did with this one is we positioned it 10 pixels from the right and 10 pixels from the bottom. So when we go and grab the tiger one, we don't actually have a style for it, so we need to click the add selector option. Then that says hash menu hash tiger with a little space between the two of them. In here we can then go and say, look, what I want you to do is actually be positioned absolutely, so that this element can be positioned wherever we want it to. And then I can say from the right in pixels, I want you to be positioned 10 pixels from the right. Now sometimes when we've got some special effects like we do in with the little animations and bits and pieces that we've done, the CSS gets written, as you can see here, and it's all correct and it's all good, but you won't be able to see it, which means we'll save this and we'll go over to the browser, and if I refresh here, you can see that the tiger now moves to the right hand side. However, in Dreamweaver we don't see that in the design view. So when you're in design view you don't see it. You see it in live view, but even in live view you don't see that little circle effect because that's a very new effect and Dreamweaver doesn't know about it yet. So that's the challenge of using tools like Dreamweaver or Muse or any of these website building tools, is that they don't evolve as quickly as the language. So when there's any changes to the language, you can actually implement them in the code, but the tools don't display it. Only the browser displays it. So that's kind of how we have that weirdness there. Anyway, boring stuff aside. So what we did here is we basically said, okay, menu tiger position absolute right and 10 pixels. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat because I'm lazy, and I'm just going to copy that 3 times. So we're going to have, how are we going to do it? Let's just do it this way. Elephant, and then after elephant we would have the penguin, and then after the penguins we would have the tiger. So the tiger is going to be at the far right, the penguins are going to be at the far right, which means 10 pixels plus 50 pixels for the size of the image, plus 10 pixels for the little gap between the actual images. Now unfortunately CSS doesn't do addition for you, so I'm going to have to do it manually. So 10 plus 50 is 60, so that's my 60, and 60 plus 10 is 70, so it'll be 70 pixels. Now I'm going to do the same for the elephant. So the elephant potentially would be in the same place as the penguin, so 70 plus 50 for its size plus 10 for the gap. So 7 and this is 120, plus that is 130. Okay, so it'll be 130 pixels from the right hand side. Now I've set up all the CSS, but the actual elephant and penguin doesn't exist in the HTML yet, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to go over to my HTML. In my HTML I can see that I've got the tiger, which is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the tiger 2 more times. Gonna rename this one to penguins, and this is gonna be still tiger button because we haven't made the penguins one, and this is gonna be the elephant. And so what I'll do is once I save both of these, I'll go back to my browser, I'll refresh, and there's my, I forgot what's first, elephant I think, and then we've got the penguins, and then we've got the tiger. Now only the tiger rollover works because we haven't taught the JavaScript that there's a rollover effect for these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump back to Dreamweaver and go, okay, so I've done my HTML, I've done my CSS, so I've done these bits, and now I need to go into my index.js and I need to do the same thing for the tiger as I did, sorry, for the elephant and the penguin as I did for the tiger. So here we'll grab all of those. Remember, this thing here just tells it when to run, so this says when the whole thing loads, so I'm just going to put a gap in. And there we go. So I'll paste in that, and then I'll paste in that again. Now this is where you can get into trouble, so here's what we're going to do. Rather than getting into trouble, I'll just start renaming things. So the first letter here is going to be E, and that's going to be for elephant. And then we're going to change this letter K to E, this one to E, oops, and this one to E. So all of this is going to be, oops, and one more here, E. So all of this is now handling the elephant. And then we have the next one here, which is penguins. Penguins are going to be P. And again, we're making this P equal all of this because I'm lazy. So rather than having to say that many times, I just say, look, I'm going to make up a letter. The letter's going to be P, and P is going to be all of that. So then I can use P here, and here, and here, and here. And just for consistency's sake, here's my tiger. I could leave it at K, but I'm just going to change that to T. Remember, we had K because initially this was a kitten. So this is going to be all T. And so I've got all of my var T's here, which are my tiger, my penguins, and my elephant. So I'll save that, go back to my browser, refresh that, and now that works, and that works. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so next we go and we quickly make some images. So this was our tiger button. If you remember, the size of this is 50 by 50. What we're going to do is grab a square off the elephant, holding down shift to get a perfect square. I'm going to cut that portion of it, go into my tiger button, and in here I'm actually just going to resize too much and position this so I can actually see the elephant. I'm mindful of the fact that there's going to be a circle effect on him as well, so hopefully that's enough to kind of show him off. We'll go and export that as a PNG. We won't call it tiger button, we'll call it elephant button. And then we'll do the same thing for the penguins, but I might just grab one of the penguins. I think I might grab this. Oh, maybe we can just do this guy. No, let's do this guy. So decisive on a Monday morning, it's great. So grab that, go over here, paste that in, resize that in here. That might work. And then what we'll do is we'll export that as our penguins button. Okay. So back in Dreamweaver, we can go over back to our design view. And we know that we've got these boxes here, which they're absolutely positioned, so we could drag them, but we've already positioned them with the code. And inside of that we have a little image. So I'm going to double click on this image and I'm going to swap it out for the penguins button. And I'm going to double click on that one and swap it out for the elephant button. So there we go, we've done that. I'm going to save this, go back to my browser here, refresh that. There's my elephant, penguins, and tiger. So that's pretty much where we want to be at the end of today. We took what we had working in CodePen, we smushed it all together and had it working the same way in the single file. We've gone in today and we've decided that we actually want to position these on the right. We moved them all to the right. We added the code for the CSS as well as for the JavaScript to make sure that these would act and work as we wanted them to. And we also created the little images so that these guys work and do what they should. Now we could make them clickable, but we'll do that maybe next time, or do we want to sneak it in? Let's see if we can sneak it in. Let's just go back in here. Go back to, remember that you've got this properties panel, which is great. The properties panel allows you to select something like the image, and then in here you can say elephants.html, sorry, not elephants, elephant.html. You can go in here and you can say penguins.html, and you can click in here and say tiger.html. So if we've done that and we save this, going back to here, these will now link to the elephant page, which is where we're already in, the penguins page, and the tiger page. So it's much easier to make all this stuff work once we've done the hard work. But again, we'll look at moving all of this into the penguins page as well, and we'll have a think about what else we want to do, because we're pretty close to what we designed initially. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at. But again, in the comments, let us know if you need anything else clarified. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.